everyone, I'm Demi and this is my tuberculosis story, well TB as many of you know it. So I'm gonna try and keep this as short as possible, but I really want to try and be as open and honest as possible as well. So yeah, so I decided to do the video about TB or my experience with TB because of the significance of the 24th of March. So the 24th of March is World TB Day, and this year it meant that I had been diagnosed exactly 5 months prior to that date. So then it also kind of commemorated the fact that I only had 1 more month left of treatment. So I was quite excited about that. I won't be doing like general facts about TB because I think that, well, I hope that this interests you enough for you to go and educate yourselves on it. I really hope it does. But yeah, so let me just go get right into it. So it all started on, well, it kind of started on the 1st of October last year. So I went to campus the Monday morning and I felt kind of tired, like really tired. Like I slept in the car and then I didn't even make it to class. I just went straight to bed again, and I thought it was weird, and then I thought that maybe it's the flu because I kind of started feeling not so great. So then the Tuesday I went to the doctor and I got booked off, and I just generally felt like really bad. Then I was sick and I got booked off the week, and I had to actually miss a really important test that week. And then I went home, and the next week I still wasn't any better, so I went back to the doctor and they gave me new meds, and it was just kind of like a cycle of just being sick and not really getting to the gist of it. So yeah, and then on the 19th of October, it was a Friday, I think, I still was feeling sick. Now you know, like it's been like 3 weeks after. So I went to the doctor again and we kind of established, you know, like my cough really isn't getting any better. I think it's weird because now looking back I realized that I had all of the symptoms and I don't know why we didn't just act on it. But I think you kind of just don't go straight into worst case scenario, you kind of just wait it out and see what works. But anyway, so my cough hadn't gotten any better, and then we kind of decided that if I go back the next week and we'll go for a chest physio thing to kind of just knock the phlegm right out. They beat your ass when they do that. So yeah, and then the Saturday morning I woke up and it was Ethan's birthday thing, and I felt fine again. I was like, I am keen, let's do this. And then the Sunday, okay, so I'm gonna attach pictures and then you have to just see what I looked like the Saturday for his birthday and then what I looked like the Sunday morning when I woke up. And I think I felt exactly the way I looked, which is horrible. So yeah, I was crying that day a lot, and then the Monday I didn't go to class again and I just stayed in and slept it out. And then the Tuesday I was like, listen, I have to go to class today, like I have to do this. And that was the day I checked myself into Mediclinic. I felt like I was gonna die, like honestly. I know it's dramatic, but I really I walked as slow as I could, but I was still out of breath. And I just I had such a pulsing migraine that I just wanted to kind of remove my head off my neck so that my body wouldn't feel the way it does. And I skipped my tats and I came back to rest. I got food and I slept. I didn't eat. And when I woke up there, I had experienced something I've never had before, and I phoned my mom and I was crying and I was like, Mom, I'm so sick, you need to come and get me. I don't want to go to the doctor anymore, like you need to help me, I want to go home. And so then I tried to get hold of the doctor and I couldn't, and then we decided that it's best if I just go to the emergency room in at Mediclinic. And I know it sounds dramatic. I mean, you don't just feel like you've got the flu and then you jump to going to Mediclinic, but that really was, I think it was necessary. But anyway, it clearly was. So my parents then said they're on their way, and my boyfriend at the time, Daryl, was also like, no, he's on his way. And I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, because I think in a way I was scared, because I knew that this was not your average flu, but I also didn't want to admit, you know, that I was sick, because then it just makes everything so much worse. So we did a bunch of tests. Like, I gave her all of my meds. I was like, this is what I've been taking, this is how I've been feeling, please help me, I don't know what to do anymore. So we did, like, they put me on an IV first though, because of my headache. Like, I couldn't take it anymore. So then we had to go for x-rays, and the the radiology room is like, it's like around the corner, and they just insisted that I sit in a wheelchair. Like, I mean, I get it, but it felt really awkward, and I have this entire wheelchair story. But anyway, and then we saw on the x-rays that my lung was partially collapsed. I think it was on the left hand side, I don't really remember. And so then we got kind of like panic stricken, because, you know, what could it be? We don't know what caused it. And I remember sitting there in the hospital bed, and I was like, you know what, I low-key don't deserve this. Like, I don't smoke, I despise smoking, I don't vape, I don't, you know what, I don't even tire out my lungs by exercising. I didn't deserve this. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, and then they had to admit me, because we had to do more tests the next day. We were going to do a CT and also do the camera thing, and you know. So then the next morning, on the 24th of October 2018, my sputum cultures came back, and he said it was TB. And honestly, I didn't take it badly. I mean, I don't even think I was sad, to be honest. Like, I was just happy to know that finally we know what it is. Like, finally, because I've been coughing for years. I am honest with you, we couldn't get a hold of my cough. And I know that it's not that I had the TB for years, it's just that my cough just wouldn't go away. And I knew that TB was curable. I also knew there's a stigma around it, but I wasn't bothered. I was relieved. And then I think instantly I got a bit sad, because I knew how highly contagious it is. And then I thought about Lisa, Neve, and Daryl. And like, Neve is my nephew, he is my brother's son. He's turning 2 in May, and I was like, what if I passed it on to him? Like, what if I got it from him? Because I didn't know where I got it from. It could have been anyone, anywhere, like, we don't really know. And with Lisa, I had spent all of my time with her. I mean, we shared a room, we shared the same space, we breathed the same air, and we slept with the windows closed. And if anything, it could have, like, you know, but luckily I didn't pass it on to her. But I mean, it was such a concern, and I don't know, like, it was really difficult for me to just think about the fact that I might have caused that. And then Daryl, I mean, he's my boyfriend, so that's kind of self-explanatory. And but yeah, and everyone handled the news really well. So I'm happy for that. I'm just glad I didn't pass it on to anyone that I knew, hopefully. I don't know. But yeah, so then I had to stay in hospital, and that was my first hospital visit ever since the day I was born, or my hospital stay, I mean. So they had to put me in isolation, and everyone who visited had to wear those like medical face masks. So I had like these big pills that I had to take, the treatment pills, and they're kind of like reddish in color. And so I taken them the first day, and then I had to go to the loo. So then I did my wee-wee, and I looked down into the toilet bowl, and all I saw was red, and I was like, oh no. I was like, this is it, I'm dying. There's something that they missed in the tests. I'm bleeding, like what's happening? And then I was like, you know what, it's fine, I'm in hospital, they can fix me, like it's fine. And then like 3 seconds later I was like, wait, actually I think that might. So then like I kind of got up, and then I realized that there was a bit of like a shadow, so it wasn't red like in blood red, it was just orange and reddish. So it was the pills that caused a bit of discoloration. It changes all of your bodily fluids, and I didn't know that. I didn't expect that, and then that happened and I felt silly. But anyway, I got discharged 2 days before my first exam, and I wasn't bothered. I went home. I was like, I'm home now, I'm here to rest. And my mother told me, she was like, you're not going back to Stellenbosch because you hide your sickness from us. And then I was like, what? I don't hide my sickness. But anyway, and then later in that week I had to get another blood sample, you know, so they could see whether or not the TB pills were affecting my liver in a bad way. And I got to the doctor, we did the sample, and as I left he was like, you know, now this is like our local GP, and he had been my doctor for my entire life, and he was like, you know, you look really well for someone who's. Then I was like, I know guys, my mom said, she was like, ooh dokter, ek het nie gedink jy gaan dit maak nie. And like I'm so serious. My mother told people that she didn't think that I was gonna make it, and I can confirm this. Like, she said it in front of Daryl once, and several people that she's told confirm the story, and it's my mother. But yeah, and then after that, honestly, things went downhill. I got my first infection within the week, and I knew that my immune system would be down, because I mean I was sick, but I didn't think it would be this bad. I was sick every single week after, and I had to go to the doctor for new antibiotics every single week, and sometimes twice a week. And I also had to do my exams in between. And I remember we were like in Montague, and I think I had like 2 infections, and it was weird because like I kind of had I had mouth infections the entire time. Like I had awful ulcers. Like it started in the back of my mouth, and it went kind of like down to my throat. And I also had this one infection where it only affected half of my mouth, so like literally, like it was split right down the half, and I knew that it was something to do with my nerves or something in that line. But it was just really bad. Like I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, and I also had to like study because I had to pass my exams. I mean, I was booked off, and then I was not booked off, and then I had to write my exams. And then around Christmas I had to get another antibiotic for another infection. And then, so the thing with the infections and the antibiotics was that the bacteria, so the antibiotic would get rid of the good bacteria as well, so then I would be just so susceptible to infections and stuff. And it was difficult because I remember at this one point during exams, I was getting ready the night before an exam, and I realized now that it was probably stress. But like I sat down and I was just like, I just started crying uncontrollably, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't, like, everyone tells you like it's gonna get better, like you are sick, you know, like your immune system's down, but it will get better. And I think after months of like actual months of being in and out of the doctor constantly, I couldn't believe it. Like I knew that people they said it to support me and it was natural, but I couldn't believe it. It was difficult. And Christmas came and I didn't even enjoy Christmas food, so waiting for that plate. So that antibiotic then had really bad side effects, and we didn't know because I just started being sick. I just started throwing up constantly. I couldn't keep anything down, not even water. I couldn't retain anything. And so we weren't sure if it was like delayed side effects of the TB treatment, or whether it was the meds clashing with the TB treatment, or what. So then I just had to kind of stop that and just continue with the TB treatment. And I was just like, it was bad. I think like what I did was just lie on the bathroom floor, or I would just sleep, and I can't even count the amount of times that I cried in the middle of the night, or where you just, you know, like you walk to your mom and you're like, I don't feel well, and then they're like, it's okay, and then you're like, okay, it's okay. But yeah, so it made me like, it got me really down at that point, I'm not gonna lie. That was the most difficult part. I think I'd been sick so many times that people didn't actually believe that I was sick. So yeah, I mean, I understand that, but just side note, I really was sick. And yeah, now I want to go to my support system. I don't think I'd be doing this video if it wasn't for my support system. So I think it was just really well-rounded. Like, I think everyone just really, my emotional needs were fulfilled. My parents, you know, colored parents, they always like shout at you, and then you know this is actually care. And that was my mom. Like, she would hammer me. She'd be like, have you taken your meds? Why are you still sleeping? Why are you sleeping late? Like, you know. And my dad is just like this really sweet soul, and he always told me like, it's okay, you know, like, it's okay. And then it was so frustrating because you know, it's not okay, but I knew that I needed that as well. And Daryl was just everything. He was at the hospital every single day when I was here in Stellenbosch, and he also he was just gentle, and he just understood, and his friends and his family were also just really supportive. And I like that no one kind of like, it's not that people didn't know how to handle it. Like, it was just there, it was out, and we were comfortable with it. And I think you know, you can always appreciate that. And like, my university friends were the goat. Lisa came to me even though there was a possibility that I gave her TB. She was there, and Coffee showed up after work this one time, and Shani barged in the hospital. She hadn't even put on her face mask yet, and she was like, are you dying? Are you dying? Just tell me you're not dying. And I was like, I'm not dying. I thought I would, but I'm not. And then just Lungi for the stories, and like, her stories always make me feel better. And Zoe also came, and wow, after Zoe, somehow during this period, or like our December break, Zoe always managed to send me a message every time I had a bad day. But I'm not talking about my average bad day, I mean like an exceptionally bad day. Like, I'd either just gotten back from the doctor, or I had just been crying, and I didn't reply to any of her messages. But I think, like, I just realized with her that it just shows that even just a message to tell someone that I hope you're feeling better and I'm thinking about you just means the world. It meant the world to me, and I will forever be grateful for all of my friends. Sorry. There was also somehow like a lighter note to all of this. So I think everyone that knows me knows that I kind of make a joke out of everything. Like, I try to find the lighter side in everything, I really do, because if I don't, it'll get me down. I love laughing. I think in general I'm a happy person, so I do try to find the positive in everything. I complain a lot, but I try to find the positive. And like, Ethan brought like this comical relief to everything, because he just made it seem like it was nothing, like that everything was nothing. And I think I really liked that. Like, it was rude actually, now that I think about it, but I really liked it. Like, a lot of stuff happens to him, so he has like a lot of ailments, and I told him he's problematic because at that point he had like nearly choked thrice, and he knocked his head twice, and it was just a mess. I was like, yeah, you're problematic and you're clumsy and stuff. And then he looked at me and he was like, I'm not the one on TV treatment. And I was like, okay, 10 nucks, like that defeated me. So yeah, yeah, that's just my story. I really tried to keep it as honest and light. I'm sorry, I'm playing with the press stick. Just try to keep it as honest as possible. I want it to be as open as possible. So I just want to end off by saying just thank you to everyone for all your messages and thoughts and prayers and flowers and chocolates. My family especially like the chocolate part. And yeah, thank you for just checking in. Yeah, please feel free to just message me if you have any questions. You can ask me about anything. You can ask me about my lunch, I don't know, just you can really ask me about anything. And yeah, I just want everyone to bear in mind that I know that my story seems light, and I realized that I had it quite easy. From what I heard, I really did have it quite easy. And so please don't like compare stories or think that I'm trying to make this like this disease way lighter than what it actually is, because it's a killer. Even though it is curable, people still are dying every day from TB. So please just be kind and take care of your health and take care of your friends and your families. And thank you for watching my story. Yeah.